Yes, indeed. It's something that I feel like somehow they managed to correct the course from yesterday's desk. Like it was odd, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't grounds for dismissal kind of territory, you know. It
No,
was,
I liked yesterday's desk. I hope we get it back today. I like
yeah.
today's desk as well. I think they did a phenomenal job.
I thought there was a lot of odd stuff happening on yesterday's desk, but they did talk about penises. I think that was the highlight for me.
We could move on to mustache rides.
Yeah, I'd love to go there. I mean, that's territory for exploration right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, stay number 2, and we are going to get into map number 1 just any second now. Heroic and HellRaisers. Who have you got for this one? I obviously have to go with Heroic, even if they have a Swedish
Do you have
person
to?
on there. Yeah,
Is it because of the Danish thing?
yeah, it's just a thing now.
I'll take HellRaisers. We can make this fun. You want to put like a friendly wager on it of some sort?
Yeah. What's the bet?
I don't know. I had the idea for the bet. I didn't actually have.
Loser
bet
has
it.
to, I don't know, buy drinks. It's just so common, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter because drinks are cheap here. So you
Yeah.
know.
All right, we'll think about it. Someone tweet us
Yeah.
some bets we
Yeah,
could do.
yeah,
Some
Doug.
friendly, some clean bets.
Yeah, definitely. Just not if you're someone who visits 4chan, but otherwise, yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah.
Always, if you can, try and outsource your decisions to the internet. That's worked out well in the past for most people, so you should definitely do that.
I like it. Yeah, we are going to get started on train, though, which is pretty cool. And I think I'm going to actually. I think even if you hadn't gone for Heroic, I would have felt more Hellraisers. Heroic is a very weird team to me. I haven't really got on board with this lineup quite yet. And there's all the conversation. We can get this one. There's a conversation about Rubino yesterday having that really rough game.
Yes.
Which I think obviously it's not necessarily fine or okay, but I think it's excusable. I mean, if you, this is a guy who was a very important player to the Dignitas roster before he left it in 2016, I believe that was, or end of 2016, early 2017.
Something like that, yeah.
But when we always talk about like the difference between practice and matches, and then online matches and LAN matches, and no matter how much you play the game in a practice environment, when you spend so long outside of the competitive realm and then you come back, obviously your first tournament matches are going to be a bit rough. So I think he's just got to kind of play himself back into shape, so to speak.
Given how good Rubino actually is at the game, it's kind of shocking that every single time there's a roster shuffle going on, or like they always get removed from his team, it seems, and he's the one that's sort of left standing somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's obviously super upsetting. I hope he can sort of make his mark on this team. I can see how he could feel pretty sort of be put pretty well into it. Obviously, we've got 3 Danes and a Swedish guy and a Norwegian guy, but they are I'm going to call it now. They're all Danish.
Okay.
Because Modi's been living in Denmark for a long time. Rubino, has been doing the same thing. So
Okay.
we've just slowly we've taken them over.
Assimilated their cultures and everything.
Well, there's this weird thing anyway that happens when things from Sweden get sort of like too close to Danish. The Swedes just give up on it. Like there's a whole part of the southern part of Sweden. They don't even want it. They just said they're just trying to get it away from Sweden.
Okay.
And we used to own part of it, so
Used to, huh? You lost it.
We used to own like most of England, and like we had things going really well, but we just overreached. We got so greedy. We thought this is easy. This is so easy.
Greedy little trolls.
Yeah, and I think we had a fair few too many mushrooms. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So just overall, just lost control of it.
Yeah, 1 or 2 is nice, but once you start going, it gets weird.
Gotta be really careful with that stuff.
Gotta be reasonable with it.
Yeah. We still have Lego, and
you guys do have Legos. That's cool.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Legos when I was a child.
It's I've just started getting into it now because of Walter again, and it's surprisingly still kind of interesting. Like I actually thought it wouldn't be like that, but just playing around with it, I had a pretty good time.
My nephew is getting old enough for Legos.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for that for some time, to where they weren't a choking hazard, to where he was smart enough to not eat Legos.
Yeah.
And now that he's there, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be like every gift is going to be one of like the huge Lego sets.
Yeah, and then you'll ask his parents to just put it together. So like, here's.
No, I'll just come over and I'll buy it for myself essentially. And
all right, excellent. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. If in doubt, just always buy something that makes a lot of noise. Parents love that. Right then. Not sure. We're waiting for something, but I'm not really sure what it is.
There was a small PC issue with Angel, or
Right.
I mean, I don't know if I should say
Is
small.
That's a shoulder rub. That's Peacemaker, isn't it?
That is Peacemaker.
That is. You should get paid more money as a coach if you can deliver that kind of services too. I feel like that's important. We actually, we actually did this for. I'm going to encourage everybody to do this in the future. All tournaments should do this. For the Blast Pro in Copenhagen, we actually hired massage people to go and just to, because I always thought it was a good idea. If the players just get like a shoulder rub, maybe forearms, something to keep people going so that they feel more fresh. I think that's a good idea.
They had those. I did an event, Northern Arena in Toronto, and the organizers had one of the. I forget the company it was. I feel bad for that. I think maybe it was. Yeah, actually, let's not even say it in case there's a sponsor conflict. But there was a company there that provided a masseuse in like the player lounge and everything, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a really good idea, right? Probably. I mean, considering all the other budgets, probably fairly cheap to try and do that, and I think the payoff is good. So Peacemaker. I mean, this is just amazing, isn't it? Really, really good job. We are obviously just waiting for everyone to get on board. So
when we're praising the coach for his ability to give shoulder massages, we've
listen. You take your compliments where you can. You just beggars can't be choosers. I think they say in your country.
Yeah, they do say that.
And yeah, they're ready now. HellRaisers is saying, and Modi is having issues. So that's what we're waiting for at the moment.
It's switched over.
Yeah,
it was contagious.
Keyboard issue, yeah. Why not? What's your current favorite series that you've been watching lately? Have you had time to watch any like good TV shows that are worth mentioning?
Yeah, you know what series I really got into on Netflix? Did you ever see? And this probably isn't for everyone. Did you see? Have you watched any of? It's not really, I guess, a TV series, but the Jerry Seinfeld, the Riding in Cars with Comedians.
No, but I'm one of those
comedians in cars getting coffee or whatever it is.
I'm one of those terrible people who never really got into Seinfeld. I know that's like almost a crime, isn't it?
Bless it all.
Yeah.
How'd you manage that?
I'm an unbelievably rational person, and I watched like one episode, and that the character that's Kramer, just really annoyed me, and I just said I'm never doing this again.
You got to give it another shot, man. I'm telling you, it's good. But no,
maybe I will.
I think that series is really cool because it's literally just like he gets like another comedian, another personality. Apparently, I didn't know this. Jerry Seinfeld's way into cars, so they get like a classic car that's really badass, and they go get coffee at just some little coffee shop and just talk. So it's not like any one of those.
That sounds enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's just kind of you get to see like personality and everything like that, and it's a lot of fun. I think it'd be cool. I was watching it and I was like, this would be cool. To do in Counter-Strike, because like I think that's one of the big things is the community doesn't necessarily always get to see the players and figures just like relaxed and casual and everything like that. I think that's part of the reason why the CS Summit events are so popular, because you do get to see more of that laid-back atmosphere. So I think that'd be cool. I don't think it would be able to do it with coffee. I think we'd have to do like
cocaine.
Yeah, we could go there. Why not?
Listen,
I was going to say tequila, but
all right, fair enough.
Couldn't be riding in cars and drinking tequila. That would be weird.
Yeah, that probably is the wrong signal to be sending. I'm actually really sad I didn't get to go to the summit, and I really wanted to, but I just couldn't. There was some other stuff that I had to do, but
well, and you would have been gone from home for like 4 or 5 weeks if you had done Summit as well. That's a long time to be.
Yeah, there's also that. It's just like bad timing, but I really enjoyed the event, so like I try to watch as much as I could.
I wanted to do as well. They asked me, and I had scheduled minor surgery for that week. I had LASIK. I had my eyes. We talked about this morning. I had my eyes cut open, so I was not functional.
Yeah, I should get that done. I really want to, but I mean.
Listen, Anders, your body's falling apart. I don't think you should really put that much stress on it in any way. I think you should just leave it the way it is and hope everything turns out.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Still sorting out the keyboard problem, I think, for Modi. He can't type anything, apparently. I don't know why he needs to, Just play the game. Don't type anything. But,
well, it depends, because if maybe, like, if you can't type anything, that could also be an extension of not being it. Like, maybe the W key isn't working properly, and then all of a sudden you can't move forward.
Have you seen people who play Counter-Strike with the arrow keys?
Heathens, we call them, the witches?
Yeah, I just can't. If people do that, I just don't trust them with anything.
I don't think it happened. Does it actually still happen to this day? That was a big thing in like 1.6 when we were like way back when. Some people still used it. And I always hated those people, because if you use the arrow keys, obviously your keyboard has to
move
extend
really
out way far. And, those were the days where desk space, there wasn't, the debate we have now where it's TOs. It's like, all right, guys, time to get your stuff together and give everyone enough desk space. This was just kind of like, here's a table. You must fit 3 people on it. Have fun.
Like the width of the table here, that'd be like 3 people just right there.
Yeah, one of those spaces is 3 people.
Best of luck, guys. And the CRT monitor on top, just to make sure you had no space at all.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, I don't know. I hope there are none of those people left. I hope we got rid of them. If you have any friends that are doing them, just unfollow them on everything and just don't be their friend anymore.
I think the one, like, maybe the best contribution to esports that games like League of Legends and MOBAs have had is perhaps the fact that since you use like Q, W, E, and R for those games, I know you can rebind them, but naturally you probably just play with WASD.
Yeah, that makes sense. That everything goes on that side. There's some logic there. They were talking about Yugi as being like the big talent. I think they overlooked Nico a little bit.
Okay.
It's obviously confusing, and especially Yanko. He's
the real Nico here.
The real Nico. I wouldn't go that far. But how do we get him to change his name? How can we make him not Nico?
It is like a really hard thing for him, wouldn't it be? Because he's probably played as Nico for years, and it's probably been his nickname for some time.
Yeah.
In all the other games as well, and he's just been like trumped.
And his name literally is like Nikolai or something. So
yeah, so sorry you can't use your real name.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do. I don't know. You'd have to get him to want to build, a brand, because you can't really build a second Nico brand, can you?
It's tricky. What if the other Danish Nico comes back? Then we have 3 of them.
The Nico with a C?
Yeah. The AWP prodigy that never really sort of...
That's too much.
Made it work.
Yeah.
Very upsetting.
Yeah.
There is I think in the next coming years,
okay,
Denmark and Finland are going to spawn a really scary amount of talent, I reckon.
Why Finland? Just out of curiosity.
There's a pretty big grassroots movement of people sort of organizing, just like really sort of, I would say, I don't want to say low level. That sounds bad, but just like basic Counter-Strike. People trying to teach other people how to play the game, and they have like a lot of people involved with it.
Yeah, Tommy and Natsu were doing something in that.
Yeah, and like it's even, I think it even stretches into like university level and stuff like that.
Okay.
So there's just a lot of stuff going on. I've been trying to keep up with it because I find it really, really interesting. And I've been hearing talks about people trying to put something together in Germany as well, which that would be a massive, massive win for our game if Germany started to actually get up and running as a country that sort of produced talent again. Because
in terms of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, in terms of Counter-Strike. Apart from that, I think they're doing fine. But I think that would be interesting. And there's no good reason why it can't happen. But someone has to sort of start putting in the work. Recently, I think esports as a whole was sort of picked up in Germany as a legitimate sport.
Yeah, that conversations where they just had like a big panel and everything.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
So there's some stuff going on there, and hopefully that will push everything in a better direction. We've already seen how exciting it is when you do just get like a wave of new talent. It's like, oh wow, all these guys are really good at playing the game, and I think that is the rate of that happening is gonna probably increase this year and the next year.
Certainly, I mean I've heard of a couple like projects like that of like developing the semi-pros and even below that is like developing players to become the next semi-pros and then eventually pros. So that would be cool if there was like a whole feeding structure that started cranking out high-level Counter-Strike players.
Yeah, we're definitely good news for everybody, right? If we can get to that. Still waiting on, I think, Modi. Yeah, the last person to rejoin. Obviously, if his keyboard doesn't work, I suppose he can't really rejoin the game. So
no, yeah, keyboard's kind of a critical part of playing this game. So want to get that figured out. Although to be fair, the keyboard is also like the most interchangeable piece of hardware you have as a player.
Yes.
Like I don't know about everyone else, and I know everyone has their own superstitions and everything, but I always feel like keyboards generally don't matter in terms of increasing or decreasing performance.
Don't tell Bardolph. Hurt his feelings.
Yeah, it's a good point.
When it comes to keyboards, I just I obviously want the mechanical keys, but more than anything, I want LEDs. Just a lot of them.
I've never understood the players who play with like blinking lights on their keyboard. I feel like that'd be distracting to me.
Yeah, it might give you like epilepsy in the middle of the game.
I think Skadoodle plays with like the LEDs like going in sequence like all through the game. Yeah. I could be wrong. I'm sorry, Skadoodle, if I just threw you under the bus.
Yeah, I think that might be too much for me as well. But apart from that, just just a lot of LEDs, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So that's all I look for in keyboards, really.
Have you been watching any good TV shows recently? Have you had time? Or a
Um,
movie? You know, a movie I'm trying to watch right now that I haven't really time. I know I didn't let you answer. Is that Darkest Hour?
don't know it.
Okay. It's like the Winston Churchill one.
Ah, all right. Yeah,
There have been like 3 Winston Churchill movies.
Yeah,
that have
yeah,
come out.
yeah. They did start making a lot of them. I could see myself watching that. I had a moment in time when I was really interested in him as a person, and I sort of like tried to read up on stuff.
He's
so.
got some cool stories. He
Yeah.
led a good life, interesting life.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, and in other ways, not so much. I think we're going to be back on the camera, so we can talk it through. No,
Put our clothes back on.
Yeah, exactly. I watched. I finally got around to watching Black Mirror. So
Okay.
I know that's way too late. Like everyone's gonna be like, "What? Only
No,
now?"
I
but-
actually haven't. I just watched season 3 over Christmas break, and I haven't seen seasons 1 or 2 at all. So
Right.
I'm right with you on that one.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. I think we are gonna go to a commercial break.
Okay.
And then we'll be back in a little bit with a game, hopefully. So stay with us, and we'll talk about more TV shows and hopefully Counter-Strike as well. So yeah, we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've got things sorted out. I hope so. Heroic and HellRaisers. It's only map number 1. It's in the first game of the day. So, yeah, you should clear your whole calendar, your whole schedule, because there's still a lot of Counter-Strike coming up today.
Yeah, things are definitely going to get weird.
Yeah, and hopefully in a good way. This first match, I mean, we've been talking a lot about it.
The coin flip.
Oh, the coin flip. You're right.
That's how you know we're kicking things off.
Yeah, I like that sound. That's a good indication. Keeps everyone on their toes. Train going to be coming up first. HellRaisers with a stand-in. Heroic with some new addition there in Rubino. We'll see how it all plays out. I've got Heroic. You've got HellRaisers. Is that true?
Yeah, we're taking that. Certainly. I think HellRaisers. I think we're going to see a really. I mean, remember Woxic yesterday? That one.
Oh, he was very
great.
good.
Yeah. So I mean, if you put him on train with an AWP, I know this is what Heroic's pick. I'm pretty sure, but you have to be worried about that if you are the guys from Heroic. And I really like Bondic. I still am like pretty high on Bondic as a player.
I've been wondering about him for a while, and I haven't been completely sold. But I feel like he's like stood the test of time almost, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got nothing against the HellRaisers lineup. I think it's pretty cool. I love Angel a lot. I think he's just a great player, and I think he's got like a lot. I think he's got. Sometimes I almost feel like he's sort of trapped in this in HellRaisers, and I want to break him out and just put him with just some super team. But I don't know if it's possible.
Do you have an example of this super team or?
Just like I almost want to give him the same sort of players that Zeus has to play around with and see what happens. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I think that'd be interesting.
So you're part of that. Like Angel should have taken over the Navi duties.
Yeah, I think that would have been.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool. I would have enjoyed that.
Okay.
But it's hard to say whether or not it would have worked out.
Yeah, it's always like one of those things that looks good on paper, right? But you don't actually know if it would ever work out. So tough, but certainly, I mean, maybe at some point he deserves a shot at some of those star players.
Yeah, I definitely think so. So we are just waiting for, I think, one person to get back, and then we should be good to go. We were talking about, are they readying up? In that case, I won't start the conversation. Stop. Ready. Stop.
Yeah, it's just going back and back.
They're just trolling us, aren't they? We were talking about TV shows. I've been watching that new show that everyone's talking about now, Altered Carbon.
Yeah,
and I thought that was pretty good.
We talked about it yesterday. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. I think
Okay.
you can tell that it's like a really big universe that comes from some novel, I think,
Right.
and they've like boiled it down to a TV show, which I mean, obviously you have to cut a lot of stuff out, but I think they did a pretty good job. You know, I haven't actually read the novel, but you can just sort of tell. There are other shows like that where that happens. You remember? You must be one of those people. I'm one of those people who really like the Riddick story.
I never cared for Riddick. I'm not gonna lie
Oh,
to you.
you really?
Yeah, I really didn't.
All right, I always thought it was pretty cool, and I got the same sense of it. Like that, there's like a really big universe. You don't really know enough about it because you're watching a movie. But I always felt like I should go back and read the books or something. I feel like it would be worth it.
I thought that was a pretty stupid character. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got like his changed
I
eyes.
didn't. Yeah, I mean, I guess that concept.
He's just such a badass, isn't he? Though, like, how can you argue that?
Because my first introduction to him, what was that movie? It was like Pitch Black or whatever.
Yeah, Pitch
with,
Black.
what's his name? Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
Being
and
Riddick.
he's obviously just incredibly badass. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
I guess.
Doesn't care about anyone. I really like the concept. You know,
Yeah.
murders people that annoy him. I think it's.
Okay. Well.
There we go.
Let's go back to cocaine, Anders.
If you insist, Moses, I won't try and stop you. So, at this point in time, it looks like it's going to be Heroic starting on CT side, and that's probably good news. What kind of pistol round would you... I'm just going to hope that they're going to get back in the game soon, Moses. So
Yeah.
I'll drill your mind for this. What kind of pistol round do you prefer on this one? I feel like nowadays, like 80% of the time, people go to the B-bomb side in pistol rounds.
And you can't really, yeah, and I don't really necessarily dislike that. I think part of the thing it affords you as a team and as players is it's not an easy bomb site to stack, I feel, for CTs on the pistol round because outside is so much harder to hold and so many different choke points that it kind of not guarantees, but there's a higher likelihood you're going to be able to at least get a plant out of it, right? And that'll help you for the third round, maybe get AKs out earlier, maybe have a more solid second round buy if that's the route you want to go. But the fact that even if you lose, you have a pretty safe plant, all things considered. You don't have to gain a whole lot of ground inside. So I think that's why we see most teams do it. I think that's fun. I like the pistol rounds where you go inner and the terrorists push up on the sidewalk. I think that's very fun. I love those kind of tactics, even on gun
Yeah.
rounds. I think that like creates some very cool action and very dicey rotations and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, if you go outside. It's all the other hard part about going outside on pistol rounds is you don't always have a lot of utility because you can get two players with smokes and there's going to be somewhere left unsmoked and that's where it's dangerous. So when teams go outside, I feel like more often than not we see them smoke towards that Ivy train, smoke right between the two trains, and then push up kind of along the wall along Olaf and towards Old Hell and towards Ivy. But if you try and like attack the bomb train with just two smokes, it just feels like you're gonna get shut down or a good opportunity for them to pick you off.
I really, really like it when people go two in brown holes and one of them has the bomb, so they're waiting outside a B just sort of chilling. Yep. And the other three people go Ivy and they smoke off towards the yard, so they have one smoke there.
Yep.
And they sort of smoke that off, and then they take a fight with anyone who's on the back side, and then they just run through CT spawn and meet up in B bomb site. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a ton of fun. Obviously carries tremendous risks.
Yeah,
but,
I mean it's obviously very fun. Even on gun rounds, it's a cool strategy. But
yeah, it's definitely not risk free. But I just like watching a variation of ending up in the B bomb site. But yeah, I think I understand why people do it as well. So we'll find out what actually happens here. There was for a while when everyone would do this thing where they would buy a Molotov, they'd try and get the bomb plant default, then they would try and Molotov the plant. And it feels like now people don't do that anymore because everybody on the CT side buys a smoke for that purpose. So it's like the meta has sort of evolved to a point where people have just stopped doing that, at least in that exact way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be changes and fluctuations in that. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I like aggressive CT pistols as well. That's why one of the cool things about Liquid that I really like watching with them is they like to take a lot of risks on their pistol rounds. If you think back, like some of the iconic matches that they've won, like some of those Mirage games, where they had like triple stacks on the ticket booth, is always really cool. But I mean, I just love the aggressive pistol rounds, especially on something like Train where you can push up, that higher ramp and have a player lower ramp or something like that. I think those are cool.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Like it's a strange problem. I think I had this conversation during the major with a couple of people. Like, what would happen to this game if you said, well, there are no pistol rounds? People start with 5,000.
Don't be one of them.
No, I'm not saying it should be, but I'm saying the pistol round is a weird obstacle if you're a team trying to sort of plan for something, because it has such a big impact that you should probably spend some time coming up with like cool pistol round strats. But at the same time, you only play two of them in a map, right?
Yeah.
So you can't disproportionately just put all your time into, like, even if you say, oh, well, we got 100% win rate on the pistol rounds, like, yeah, but all your rifle rounds are really bad now. So you can't do that either. So it's like, I kind of get why maybe it's tricky. I feel like the pistol rounds are being, like, not prioritized enough by some teams. I feel like there are a lot of teams that could do much more in the pistol rounds.
I think the pistols just feel like, I mean, everyone knows they're important, but I think they just feel so random at times with like whether your pistol is actually going to like land the shot that you hit, maybe 8 times out of 10, but is this going to be one of the 2 rounds that it just doesn't land or something like that? So the inconsistency makes teams and players kind of...
Especially T-side. If you run into like one USP bullet, then it's like, oh, the plan's gone.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's a...
This will make me sound old, but I like... Well, I mean, I guess technically I am for this community, but I do remember when we played MR12, like way back when.
Yes.
And the pistol round was like half the game.
Yeah, that's true.
If you lost pistol and then lost the 4th round, like you just don't win.
Yeah, that was it.
You just don't win. And then even overtimes. You had another pistol round. It started with $800 instead of $10,000. So you'd have a 3-round overtime that all depended on a pistol. So if you lose the pistol in overtime, it's just once again you're out.
I think I played in some online leagues, like on clan base and stuff, when that was still around. That used that format. And what was even worse, in some of the sort of local Danish leagues that were going on the internet, they just used their own maps. So I mean, like literally, you'd have Dust 2 and stuff like that in there, but you'd have like 4 or 5 different maps that you'd never heard of, and
cool.
They just put them in, and you just had to be like, just learn them. I guess.
Do what you can, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
A lot of B rushes on those maps, I would assume.
Yeah, and just you'd always run into like one team that had just done an enormous amount of preparation on some random map.
Yeah,
like really annoying, but yeah. So people have it different now.
Yeah, much easier, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like they don't know the struggle.
Yeah, they don't know. Oh, so ridiculous.
Playing Aztec and...
I loved Aztec, man. I really did. I loved Aztec. I loved Prodigy.
Prodigy's... Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Not so much Aztec.
It's just... I mean, it was just a weird map, wasn't it? Especially when the
So
grenades
cool.
went through the wall, and you had that like the bridge hut or whatever it was called, where
Mm-hmm.
people just like try and nuke it every once in a while. You'd be like, oh, I just got triple naded for no reason.
Yeah, I liked that part.
You are just a terrible human being, aren't you?
I wasn't a bridge room player, so it didn't really matter.
All right, fair enough. No, it was a fun map, but I don't think it would. I hope no one ever tries to remake it.
It would never
for
work
global offensive.
Well, it has been.
Yeah, but I mean, like for
To actually
competitive.
use competitive,
Yeah.
It wouldn't. I feel like it wouldn't work with Molotovs. Like that map is just kind of ruined if you have Molotovs, as well as like the smokes being actual walls.
Yeah, there are some pretty big choke points.
Yeah.
So yeah, but probably not. Probably not. Maybe Prodigy. At least just the theme of it. Maybe someone could bring that back. Let's do like a remake.
An homage, so to speak, like not
Yeah.
an exact replica, but something a little different.
I mean, the part of the map where you sort of end up towards the cliffs where you can jump over the side, and you run in this event in the ceiling right above you. Can you
boost the
imagine the nightmare of that in sort of in Global Offensive? Where
That'd be great.
People shoot out the vents and
Or
drop
just
down.
drop flashbangs and everything.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Really good stuff. All right. Yeah, maybe that could happen one day. Still waiting on. It's not really clear. Oh, they're asking if they're ready. They might be ready. I think they might be ready, Moses.
Yeah, everyone's saying they're ready. Rubino says he's ready for McDonald's.
Bit early in the morning for McDonald's, isn't it?
I already had some McDonald's. I had a coffee.
Yeah, I don't think that really counts.
Yeah, probably not. Who knows though? Have you ever started the day with a Big Mac, Anders?
No, I feel like I've got enough problems already, Moses. I feel like there's no reason really to go down that road.
Once you start eating Big Macs for breakfast, it's all over.
That's turning a corner in your life that you probably just can't. You can't unring that bell.
No, you can't. Well, we're going to get into it as the resets are coming in. Freeze time, pause being canceled. You can see there on the screen. It is going to be heroic on the CT side. HellRaisers starting on the T side. We're going to start seeing the utility bought up on Dead Fox.
Yeah, there's that Molotov.
He dropped a P250 and bought a Molotov.
Yeah, what a teammate. I mean, that one P250 there on HS could really make a difference long range against the USP. It can actually be a bit of a surprise. Sometimes the CTs, they challenge more than maybe they should if they knew that that gun was in play. And there's the dreaded smoke on Snappy as well to try and make sure that they can extinguish the Molotov if it ever comes to it. Already a bit of an exchange as Nico's going to try and fall back. He's going to be pretty safe. They can't really catch him, so no trouble there. They do have Muddy in the bomb side as well to try and help him out. So pretty standard stuff by all accounts. And finally, they're going to try and make their way down. They actually have a firing squad. They all four of them jump down on the sidewalk and just challenge Muddy, and he's going to be going down right away. So what a great start here for HellRaisers. Now the bomb is being planted, and the retake is going to be very tricky. Rubino will come up with a big headshot on Bondik, though.
Yeah, that smoke actually used to extinguish the Molotov to allow them to rotate in, and now it's all these USPs against Glock. Narrow angles, Dead Fox not able to win that fight against Rubino, still trying to push up. There's 3 members left, and they're all fighting isolated out in the open. This is actually a disaster for HellRaisers, and Heroic just wipes everyone out.
Rubino with a triple kill, and I think you're dead on. They were all fighting individually out in the open, the very opposite of what you want to do.
Yeah, really weird fight selections there down the stretch of that round.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame because they actually had put a lot of pressure on, but no one managed to push forward after the plant, right? They were all just sort of stuck behind whatever train they happened to land behind. So that's a shame because the initial setup was really good. Only Bondik picking up a kill in that round.
Yeah, and they actually used the Molotov in a connector, and that smoke, I think maybe that's why they didn't push, because the smoke extinguished the Molotov, and that's when like the rotations are already coming through, so maybe they just felt like they couldn't make it far enough up the lanes. Still, pretty tough round to swallow. It's going to be a 3rd round buy, though. Angel has a smoke. They want to get down lower ramp. That nade hurts, and they just want to get this plant, but there's 2 players here, so this is unlikely, especially with the damage done. Snappy with the M4, that is just, these are easy fights for him. And HellRaiser is going to get wiped out. So great defense from Heroic, and they are going to lose Nico, but that should be it.
Yes, the UMP is getting a couple of kills in there, and overall just a pretty good situation to be in. 2 rounds. Now, HellRaisers are obviously going to buy in this round, so I don't think they're going to be really too upset. Yugi already picking up the AWP, which you could have maybe guessed. He's pretty good with it. I understand why the desk was saying that he could have a future place in something like North or Astralis if he keeps up at this rate.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was one of the things that was being thrown around when kind of the story was that maybe Device didn't necessarily want to be an opera anymore, and have Yuki come over, put him back on the rifle. Obviously didn't come out, but was kind of a cool idea. There's a fast play from HS, getting down ladder room, making sure no one from Heroic can control that. Blocked off by Smokes at the moment. Even with Yugi with the AWP outside, Snappy has rotated inside very early on in this round, perhaps because Nico only has that UMP.
A little bit worried about Dead Fox standing still in that one position because that gets spammed so often. So you don't want to be at the top of the stairwell like that. But nothing happened this time. They are spread out very far across the map. Woxic is all the way over on Ivy. They've got some people towards Mania Angel and then all the way over to Brown Hole. So they've got like a whole giant arc going on. Still got a minute left, so they can make up their minds. Modi going to go and check Angel right on the other side. And people tend to check that corner now. I feel like people don't get really caught off by that so much anymore.
What's interesting about this is that both teams are running really low on utility, and HellRaisers haven't really done anything with theirs. They haven't gained any map control whatsoever, so they have to go into these fights with only one smoke, really. That's a good opening kill, but now this could reign supreme. Yugi can just basically shut this down. He's not blocked off. He's got no one in his face, no smokes, and that's a very dirty shot that needed to be hit by Woxic. So a great round, and the bomb will get... No, won't. Snappy's going to turn the... Oh! What a save from Bondic.
That's the kind of teammate you want. Woxic going to be putting down the bomb. That leaves Nico in a very uncomfortable position here. No smokes to be picked up right now. He's going to have to just go and try and bait them out. He's got the kit at least, so he's got a little bit of time. He sees the gun barrel. Woxic instantly dead. One click is all it takes. Bondic hiding quite far away. He has a Molotov as well. This could get really tricky. Nico actually doing the right thing, just trying to hunt for him, and he's going to get the headshot, just stepping right into that angle. That is... quite the 1 versus 2 there.
Yeah, that's great. That had to have been some miscommunication between Woxic and Bondic. Woxic is kind of out in the open. He's really exposed from pretty much every angle except for the one he's watching. So that was an easy kill. And then a great win, obviously, against Bondic. But still, a tough round for others. I still think that if they had used that one smoke towards Connector or just had more utility to use, they might have taken less damage from Woxic, from Yugi, and been able to actually manage that post-plant much better. 3-0 though, and actually more buying coming out. HellRaisers want to keep up the pressure because they know, again, they got it down to a 1v1, so they've done some damage to the economy. They want that reset early. We'll see how they fare in this one. Yugi's going to be just as aggressive as that op was picked up in the last round for him, and so is Angel. But that's not going to work out well, and actually, it's going to go terribly. 2 kills from Rubino. Woxic is brought down to 16 HP. That's the bomb down in Ivy as well.
Absolutely not the exchange that they were hoping for. Bondic trying to see if he can maybe turn it around by sneaking out into the yard. It's not a bad idea. If he can, they have so much time here. If he waits for a long time and someone goes to check this out, maybe he could pick up a kill on somebody. But it's definitely a rough start here to the first half. Heroic, not that far away from being 4-0. Bomb has been picked up in the meantime, so at least they have that working for them. Just 2 smokes left and then 1 Mac 10 there on Dead Fox. I'm not seeing that many rounds or that many ways to get a successful round out of this one for HellRaisers.
No, I'm not either. We'll see what happens. There's a couple smokes to utilize, but so many players outside. Snappy's being very patient in there. And yeah, the op is just going to reign supreme here. Delayed as they come out T-mid. Bondic's going to have to be the playmaker, even with only 50 HP. And actually, no one has eyes on this. So this is going to be a free kill for Madi. He could triple them up. There's the shot, the spray down. Oh my God, he actually had an opportunity. Wasn't able to follow up on Amadi, but Nico was there as well, easily lined up. That could have been a disaster.
That's just so upsetting, Moses. You know those claw machines you always get in the festivals, and it's like he just grabbed all the teddy bears, and just as he was getting close to dumping them down and getting
he slipped out.
Yeah, just slipped out. That was hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
All the teddy bears.
All the teddy bears.
How many claw machines have you been in where you grabbed like 4 teddy bears in one go?
It happens all the time, Moses. It's my one weakness.
The claw machine.
Yeah, then I cry and my family has to sort of say, come on, just don't do it again.
I've just got Arrested Development on the mind when you say claw machines. Well, here's a fast play towards inside. Nico not able to hold it off. And they're into the bomb site very quickly. And this is where you want to see them push up. And they have to. Dead Fox and Bondic have to make progress or else this is going to be all over. The rotation is already in. Snappy's here, but that smoke is blocking him off. Madi this time able to handle it on the retake with 2 kills, and everyone's falling. So a good idea and almost able to kind of turn the tides. Nico does get beaten up there on the rush.
There's a massive grenade that landed on them, I think, when they were pushing up. So that's super unfortunate. Ultimately, great recheck for Muddy with the triple. 5-0 in favor of Heroic, moving into the 6th round. AWP on Woxic. That could be a way to get back in this game. Yugi versus Woxic. That sounds like a fun fight.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Obviously, T-side opping can be tough on this map, but how much time is... I mean, I think the question is, we just saw 2 very fast-paced rounds out of HellRaisers. How much time are they actually going to give Woxic to go for the pick? And he's taking it towards Ivy, which means if he doesn't find a pick early on, I mean, Rubino with the smoke can kind of stall him out for a number of times. And if Heroic plays this any way like Astralis and kind of rotates based on who has the smokes, that means Woxic over here is going to be isolated for a long, long time. Meanwhile, Yugi, being mobile towards the inner bomb site this time, he's had the op outside, finds the opening kill onto Dead Fox.
Absolutely very annoying for them here early on. HellRaisers struggling to just find an opening. Ooh. Getting a lot of damage through the smoke there on Rubino. That's not bad at all. And he's going to try and fall back. He will be successful as well. But yeah, it's one of those things. I think it was HellRaisers we talked about yesterday. If you end up not getting the information you need in the earlier rounds, even if you turn it later on, you might not get sort of enough rounds out of it. So yeah. I feel like they need to put together the first 5 rounds here and sort of say, well, where's the weakness in this kind of defense? And I feel like one of the weaknesses, it feels to me like, apart from Yugi sort of covering main, they seem to be able to get people out of main and sort of, out in that A yard. And once you can do that, you can really work with a lot.
Well, look at Angel. He's made it happen, and I think Snappy actually maybe heard a footstep, and he's going to call it out to his teammates, trying to spam through the smoke, and then he spots him out. Angel didn't make the move fast enough, and Rubino falls to his death with only that 5 HP. The smoke clears. Nico going to drop flames. They're already out. Yugi's rotated over. The off angle from Nico can be deadly. No one from HellRaisers actually making it in or progressing to the bomb site, and this gets dangerous. Easy pickoff for Yugi. He has had a couple very simple shots, and there's the follow-up headshot just down to Woxic. 1-on-2 and no need to peek for anyone. And there's the flank. Madi's going to end this. A 6th for Heroic.
Great triple from Yugi. Real shame that Rubino just gave up on life like that. I feel like...
Goodbye, cruel world.
Yeah, and there's so much to live for right now if you're on Heroic. 6-0. Got it all working.
Yeah, and... you want to talk about HellRaisers needing to figure out what's going wrong quickly, unlike what they did yesterday on Inferno. They really need to find a way to make Yugi uncomfortable. He's had so many easy shots, just like holding the angle, standing in the open, no flashbangs, no smoke, and he's just able to line him up and knock him down. So if you're HellRaisers, I mean, yeah, he's switched up his position, was inside inner bomb site this round, but you need to be able to put pressure on him with your utility. And I think maybe you shut down this kind of spread out default and you just go for an execute at some point.
Man, those Peacemaker shoulder rubs are really working out, Moses. Obviously the whole team's just incredibly ready at this point. So
yeah,
that's
I think been loosening them up all morning.
Yeah, I think that's what did it. Now we've got the double op. It's got even worse. And the Snappy, I wouldn't say he's like he's not like Yugi level, but he's pretty confident with it. So I think that could get a little bit bad now. There's the kill. Snappy taking down Angel. Again, no flashbangs, no smokes or anything trying to block it. Just a clean shot.
I don't even know what the point of that is. That's a couple rounds now. It's been so fast. Just like one player. I remember they did that towards Ivy on another round on I think it was the 4th round when they thought they had a low economy and they tried to do this crazy fast play.
Look at where Yugi is and look at where Modi is in this round. They just have so much control of what's happening on the map. The fact that Yugi's down at the end of Ivy there is going to give them some space to work with. A little bit of a shame, Modi. Stumbling back out of main and gets taken down by HS.
Yeah, nice pounce, nice punish from HS. Rubino, there's no angle to cover that, which is unfortunate. I think maybe Madi might be frustrated. Nico is alone towards the inner bomb site. Looks like he's going to have a job to do in the later stage of this half, but Snappy also rotating back. So here's, with this double op, obviously, the retakes get more difficult. So if HellRaisers get into the site, that could be huge with Yugi having to come over and be one of the forces to try and take it back.
So much of this is going to come down to the timing for that one Molotov Nico has. Is he going to try and put it out immediately? Because then he can buy a little bit of time. He's already got it primed. And there it goes, down on the low ground. Snappy covering the high ground. Dead Fox going down. Bondik will take care of it, but that's a great triple kill for Snappy taking down Bondik. And the bomb needs to go down quick, almost getting that shot. Looked like it was about to connect. Woxic and HS, they've got to come up with something here. 2 versus 3, and now 1 versus 3. We've seen Woxic do it before, but this time he runs right into that Deagle. Yugi not even needing the AWP. Another round. 7 for Heroic.
Yeah, this is getting bad. I mean, these AWPs are just having a field day against HellRaisers. Partially because of the utility, obviously, partially because that fight selection Angel just kind of running out right into the AWP. That's going to be an easy one, and then down the stretch of the round, you just don't have the flashes. Yeah, they put a smoke out, but they don't have any actual flashbangs, so actually Snappy watching upper ramp has nothing blocking him, and it's an easy kill to cover his teammate, and the Ops reign supreme for the defense.
Definitely a bit difficult to watch. I think HS, Dead Fox, and Angel all have 1 kill, so...
It's not ideal, is it?
They are just getting kind of picked apart at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe that could change. It looks like they're going to try and put a couple of people down, and really, really quick coming out of Pop Dog. They almost catch it perfectly. The grenade doing so much damage in return, though. That's actually devastating. Now they're going to try and go for the quick bomb plant. Modi, he hears it. Snappy going to get 1 kill with the AWP, taking down Angel, so it's still a 4-on-5, but everybody's shown up here for Heroic. They're all at the bomb site, ready and waiting, and Snappy finding another position. Bondit going to be able to take him down. A grenade landing. They're so low on health, and there's HS gone. Modi somehow staying alive for that kill.
And now the retake is on Dead Fox. Woxic is the last one who can really do anything, and he's down. And yeah, I mean, Modi's surviving on Bomb Train is insanity that whole entire round, just biding his time. Really smart play from him, knowing he can't take any fights. But this is turning into disaster territory for HellRaisers.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously their planned timing worked in the sense that you could tell Muddy wasn't ready for it. They just needed to get that kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, all right? They had the smokes, they had the utility, they could get to the bomb train and get it planted, but everyone, once the bomb goes down, since they didn't find any kills and didn't really take over any territory outside, it was kind of like 3 players huddled around E-Box, like right out in the open. As soon as the smoke's cleared, everyone's just like, all right, now we fight, and now you all die.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They did, for a second, try and save all 3 AWPs. I'm sad they didn't. I feel like...
You just want to watch the world burn, don't you?
Yeah, or at least go double up and auto sniper. That's a train classic.
Yeah, that's a thing. Look at these op kills. No smoke, no flashbangs. Fighting in the flames.
It's a little bit rough at the moment. HellRaisers is finding no rounds at all. In spite of the fact that they've had a few opportunities to do it. Can't seem to shut down the AWPs. Nico and Yugi's actually trying to push a little bit aggressive over on this side. He's going to try and challenge the Molotov, which you can sometimes do, but not for long. Dead Fox, a little bit worried that someone's going to show up. Let's see if HellRaisers could do anything at all to make this work. I mean, they really, really need these grenades to put the pressure on the AWP players. The way that Yugi's standing right now, it's almost impossible to do that anyway. Like, how do you sort of smoke him off here? Maybe flashbangs could work, but he's just on that train in the back of the B-bomb site.
I mean, you can smoke him off. The trouble is he could take some blind shots through it at that upper ramp, but I mean, no one from there. HellRaisers is coming back towards the inner bomb, so that might just be what happens. That smoke, you know, just a little bit out of the choke point to allow you to peer in towards the bomb site. I think that smoke for the lower ramp is hopefully going to bait out some counter utility from the defense, but it's not coming. Nico really holding on to that Molotov. The funny thing is he might not get an indication there's an actual hit coming, because normally you'd see like flashbangs streaming out, Molotovs and everything like that. There's only one flashbang, so here he is. There's a Molotov towards upper ramp. There's a smoke towards lower ramp. This could be disaster. Nico blinded initially, going to go and try and take that fight. Oh, he switches to the nade, but he gets the headshot. They're going to wrap around him. He's going to follow things up. The spray control isn't there, but Yugi misses a shot as well. Best chance that HellRaisers has had in quite some time, and Bondik builds on it.
Yeah, great stuff for Bondik coming in with that kill. Now they're going to try and crosswalk. Sig almost getting picked off. That would have been a disaster. HS goes down. Modi, the last to fall. And finally, HellRaisers pick up a round. Yugi getting caught, I think, slightly on the ladder as he was sort of coming up there. Yep. So that was a little bit weird and maybe a little bit unfortunate. Ultimately, we'll be around for HellRaisers. So it's late. And now the real test, Moses.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, here's the thing. The fact that it takes them this long to get their first round is they need to build on this like right now. If they get reset here, it turns into like a really tough scenario.
Yeah, nobody likes seeing that.
Yugi has, yep.
I was just going to say the round loss bonus. Reset.
Yeah, it's not great. Yugi has the AWP. Ooh, I like this. Get aggressive.
It looks like they're ready for it. They've got Angel really far back. At a bit of an uncomfortable angle. Are they going to flash their way in? They will. And Yugi can't really find that kill. Obviously, just trying to guess the timing, but not going to work out.
Wondering if that was precaution. We didn't get to kind of see the POV, and Yugi sticks around far too long. Maybe feeling a bit overconfident, but Rubino now going to take his turn on the op. Tough part now is with that opening kill, it kind of isolates Nico alone towards that inner bomb site. You're more hesitant if you're heroic to rotate a second player inside.
Very tricky right now if you're Nico. He's sort of done a pretty good job before alone on the bomb site, but I feel like the timing of when you put down that Molotov is just so critical. And if you get it wrong, then you give away your position, and they're just going to sort of swarm you from every angle. So not so easy being the sole defender.
No, Snappy's coming back now, though, which is good. Snappy has a Molotov as well, so if they give up the indication this hit is coming and there's the smoke, do they throw the Molotovs out? Not yet. Snappy's still holding on to his. There's one lower ramp, but this is all a fake. Actually, HellRaisers going to try and go back outside. Rubino's here with the op, and he's going to get that first pick. Now Madi knows what's coming. He sees him over the top, but can't recover in time. Rubino's got to do more. They're going to stay hidden. And a boost up. They need to pick one or two players off. And again, Dead Fox watching this, and he wins that fight, although the spray return from Nico is good.
It's 2-on-3. Big chance here for HellRaisers to finally step in the game. They can't really afford to lose this round. Rubino swinging close with the AWP and getting the kill on Woxic. That's definitely a big kill. Smoke. Oh, gonna go on the wrong side. Did they think that was a default plant? Because now the bomb is still uncovered by the smoke on Rubino. He's gonna go down, and a return kill for Bondik, saving the round in a 1 versus 1. HellRaisers will pick up a second round, and now finally the economy is starting to look a little bit broken here for Heroic. So it's a really good job.
Yeah, they have to buy up, though, for no reason other than the fact that maybe even just Madi just snapping off a buy, but you're kind of at the point where this is your last chance, so you want to respond to it. I don't like that smoke from Rubino. I think you're right. That was a very weird smoke. It actually provided Bondik with cover to be able to swing out from ladder room.
Yeah.
And because it was so close to the train as well, it denies vision and information for Heroic rather than denying anything to HellRaisers. So very weird there.
Yeah, it's hard to know if that was his mistake or if maybe someone called and said they've planted default, so he thought, all right, I'll sort of underhand throw a smoke close to it and we'll see what happens. But even then, it didn't seem like it was going to be very good. So I'm not sure. Maybe a misclick.
Yeah, could even be that. Regardless, it is nice to see HellRaisers off the back of that opening pick towards Ivy being able to build a second round into this. The AWP is still in Yugi's hands, though. And HellRaisers hasn't been able to build up too much money behind this pair of wins. Woxic's going to have an AWP of his own. And now it's Heroic who's on the back foot in terms of their nades.
I'm disappointed they don't try and push the brown holes this round, Heroic. I would have liked to have seen the UMP, the CZ, just sort of like, you know, three-man rush up the stairs. I feel like that would have been great fun. Instead, looks like they're going to try and flash their way in. The problem is when you don't catch anyone like this, everybody on the T side hears that flashbang go off, so they probably know that something is up.
Well, and also what? You just used 1 to 2 flashbangs and a smoke in that T mid right at the minute and 30-second mark. So running low on utility, and there goes Yugi. There goes Rubino. And this round starts to feel out of reach for Heroic. 5-on-3 scenario as HellRaisers. Woxic and Angel going to make their way out Ivy. Snappy needs to have a big round here if they're going to stop this, but they're not. So Madi's still in T mid. There's a kill onto HS. Could do more. Not able to connect it, though, and he's caught out. So Snappy's the next one up.
Bomb already being planted. Trying to see if he get the lineup. Looked like that could have been 2 for 1, but just so many targets on the other side. Ultimately, Nico's alone in a 1 versus 4. So pretty good job for HellRaisers, losing 8 rounds in a row, then coming back with 3 in a row of their own, breaking the economy. Heroic can't really buy in the next round either. So yeah, this is all really interesting. Took them a while, but now that they've finally shown up, it's made the game a bit more interesting. I like that.
Yeah, it has been. And I mean, now with this kind of a win, they have a great chance of making this a very competitive half in terms of, you know, they can get up towards 5, towards 6 rounds on this T side, which didn't look likely just a few minutes back. So nice job from HellRaisers. This time they adjust and they recover in the half much, much earlier. What are we working with in terms of scores? Bondik leading the way for HellRaisers with 13 kills. Dead Fox and Angel still down at 2. The other side of things, it's Nico with 12, Rubino with 9. Actually, 3 players with 9 on the Heroic side of things. So very well spread out effort from the Heroic side.
Yeah, definitely, I think, sort of dreaming about the days when they had the money, when they had double up set up.
The good old days.
Yeah, everything was working out.
Flush with cash. HellRaisers wasn't using any flashbangs. It was quite nice.
Yeah, it was all good. This time, obviously, slightly different scenario here. They do get a couple of great kills in. That's going to be really expensive. And Yugi actually getting that shot. That's almost unbelievable on HS. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Angel's down the ladder, and Yugi's got that AWP right close range. Got a minute and 25 seconds. When you've got this long, I always feel like it's obviously not completely random, but there is like an element of timing to it.
And there's also like a kind of a big risk here if you're Yugi, because obviously you want to control the bomb and you want to keep your eyes on it and know what's coming.
Oh, Angel. Was worried he was making a bit too much noise, turning his back, almost overextending there, Yugi. The Molotov's going to give it away. Now he definitely knows, and he's going to go and check the lane. He's got one chance here, and there's the shot coming through. Yugi taking him down for the triple kill, and Angel just giving away, I feel like, all advantage in throwing that Molotov.
Yeah, and then even like the jump and the run a little bit down that, and then also you're going up against an AWPer and you're in like the most narrow corridor they have in the game. That was kind of the risk I was talking about. Is Yugi has to kind of stay close to the bomb, because if you give it up, but there's just so much time. But he wants to know when Angel's going to get to the bomb, which bomb site he's going to go to, and if you move too far away from the bomb, you don't have that kind of information. But the fact that he has to keep his eyes on the bomb allows Angel to kind of know the region or the area he'll at least be close to, right? So there were some advantages in that 1v1. That's why it's so surprising to see Angel give up all the information. Very poorly played 1v1 in my opinion.
And that's obviously devastating, because they were just building it. We were just all getting excited about the fact that now they were back in the game. And
there was nothing. There was a UMP and pistols.
Yeah, exactly. And now, can they make their way out? Looks like it's going to be a really quick execute here. Snappy down on the low ground. He gets the single kill, but Dead Fox quick to pick it up. Nico taking one in return and looking for more. Dead Fox is going to be going down if they lose this round, HellRaisers, and looks like they will. Angel now alone, and he gets down by Rubino. This is about as bad as it can get. 10-3, but that's only half the story. HellRaisers can't really buy, so I don't even know.
Yeah, that's a really nice round from Nico. He's been great at that inner bomb site throughout this. And the funny thing is, Heroic obviously has the feeling that HellRaisers are going to come back towards this inner site. And they also want to round off that, because remember, HellRaisers threw one of those great fakes, pressuring the inner bomb site and running back towards outside. But Nico's just been such a monster, they can't really get by him.
Why did they do it, Moses, to themselves? Why was it necessary? They had it all working for them. Just couldn't follow through. Dualies on Yugi. That's how good he feels right now.
I think the dualies are really underrated. I'm on the dualies hype train, Anders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Why? Is it just like a feeling?
It is. And I feel like we've had some people, kind of using them, for a while. I think they're just, underutilized. I think they have plenty more to offer than what we've seen.
I'm not. I feel like
I'm not doing a good job of selling this. I realize it as I'm saying it. I'm not selling the hype train that well. But just trust.
It's like we've got a few people. Yeah, like get right. And
that was like 4 years ago.
And that was like 4 years ago. And even then he got no kills with him. So
I think NBK was doing it as well.
Yeah.
NBK's always championed the underprivileged weapons.
Yeah, it's true. And it's nobody worked out, I think. So. I was hoping, Moses. I was rooting for you to come up with like a really good reason. Yeah.
I don't have one.
To say like, can you still do? I actually don't used to do these at all. Can you still do this thing where you bind the fire to like scroll and then you can shoot much quicker with them?
I assume so, but I haven't been that much of a troll in some time.
Right. There is obviously a cap in the game that limits how quick you can do the sort of the plus fire thing or whatever. Okay. But what if you just remove that for the dually, so you can just spin it and then it just empties the clip in 3 seconds?
Yeah, I used to be able to do that. That was always good fun. But like it always feels like the recoil goes too crazy if you actually hit anything. It's just kind of I don't know.
Yeah. But
you get to satisfy your inner Laura Croft, I guess.
Yeah, you jump down into Pop Dog and you just fire all the bullets mid-air. I feel like that's a good idea. Maybe that's how they fixed that gun.
Yeah, certainly, that's the one.
What if they made it so you could dual wield any pistol? Double deagle?
Stop. Stop right now.
Double C-set 75 right in your face, Moses.
I don't like where you're going with this.
11-3, ladies and gentlemen, moving into the 15th round. HellRaisers, they built such a nice comeback for themselves. They had it all set up. They're like one of those people building like one of those massive dominoes tracks, and then they just, in the middle of building it, they just knocked it all over.
I
And
like that analogy.
it just all unfolded.
Yeah, a little bit too early.
They had the camera running, going for the world record, and then just a month wasted for no reason.
They're going to go back towards inner again. And one thing, as I said, Nico's been great here, but he's also done a good job of always having his Molotov ready for when the execute comes out. And you can see Woxic and HS had to run through it. They don't take that much damage. That's a huge entry. Leg shot onto Dead Fox, or he's tagged out at 28, but you're going to have to retake this. And ooh, Snappy, that looked on. Yuki's going to respond, but there's Woxic still keeping the advantage towards HellRaisers, and I think this is about all over. They're too close now, even though Madi gets a fortunate kill. They just have a lot of space they have to regain.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely at all. Bondig is going to take down Modi. I think almost all of this round is just credit to Woxic picking up those entry frags. And I think that's the power of having it, I would say, an exciting player like Woxic on the team. Is just the fact that he can just do that. Almost at will, it seems. You know, he's like, I'll open up this bomb site, let's go, you know, and then he just does it. And
in all fairness to them as well, I mean, Nico had played a very similar angle a number of times. Like that was kind of a play that he had made to defend that bomb site, and he'd done it very well, obviously, throughout that half. But you know, at a certain point, you kind of catch on to that. So Woxic very obviously saying, okay, he's going to be playing that off angle against the wall after he throws the Molotov, and coming through, just able to get that clean headshot. 15 and 11 for Bondik, 16 and 9 for Nico, but an 11-4 half for Heroic.
It's a bit much, isn't it? And it could have been 9-6. Like, it could have been a very different game overall.
Yeah, because it was 8-3, and that was when HellRaisers had kind of broken the economy, and then a one force buy or one like half buy out of Heroic just kind of trumps everything.
Nico, Yugi obviously doing well. Bondik doing very well. I mean, he's the reason why this hasn't just all fallen completely apart. If they can win the pistol round here, HellRaisers, get up that AWP of their own on Woxic, they've still got a chance.
Look at this aggression from the CT Pisterana. This is what I was talking about. I love seeing these. I don't think Madi's aware HS is to the right. He's not. And there's the peek from Woxic. A good kill, and HS chimes in. And Woxic's going to follow up with more, and he keeps pushing forward into the barrel of Snappy, but the damage is done. Snappy's got no armor, and he's still fighting. That's the bomb down. That should be the pistol for HellRaisers.
You could just tell that Heroic had no internal map of what's going on the other side. Like, there's no way for them to know that there were going to be 3 people there. So they just sort of kept fighting and got chewed up.
That's the unfortunate part, because if it was HS who was at the top ramp, and if they had seen him cross over to the right behind that box, if you spot him out and you have that small skirmish and he stays aggressive, that's kind of the warning signal. That's where the red flags go off and kind of says, okay, if he's still being aggressive, that means he's got some form of support, some teammate here with him on that lower ramp. And since they never saw him, they never had that information, they just run right into the stack, into the crossfire.
So, good job on HellRaisers. That was a crucial round. Now, all they have to do is survive the 5 Deagle buy that's coming out here for Heroic. And they have some players that are really good at using these Deagles. You really want to be careful. Yugi, Nico, definitely capable of hitting some stunning headshots. So, don't want to overextend too much. Don't want to give them too many fights. Make sure they really earn their way to it. HS right on the other side of that smoke. Should be winning this fight pretty easily once the smoke goes away. Yugi does not have any armor, so 1 bullet on him and it's pretty much going to be done. And he's just ready and waiting for it. And there's the spam coming through. Somehow shoots him in the kneecaps.
Yeah, that's not nice. Gets that kill, going for the duel against Dead Fox, who's eventually going to win it. But this is getting expensive. And actually in a 2-on-2, this is possible. This is doable. Rubino, he's already got 2 frags. He'd have to end with 4, but it's not going to happen. The SMG goes to work. No plant in either of these 2 rounds. Not going to be a buy in this one for Heroic, but they've done good damage to the economy, so they might invest a little bit more into some pistols, maybe a couple more Deagles, maybe some P250s, see if you can get any extra kills in this round.
And just a little bit too expensive, but since Heroic didn't get any bomb plants in the last 2 rounds, they can't really keep pushing the issue. And when you have this much of a lead anyway, if you're Heroic, you're probably just thinking, what we need are just 5 rifle rounds.
Yeah.
Like, as many rifle rounds as we can get, because the chances that we'll convert one of them to a win is much bigger than going for, you know, weird force-ups and buying Galils and stuff like that. It's not a good idea, I think.
Well, Dead Fox spots him out. The smoke is a little bit late, which means Rubino's going to get a nice kill. And Woxic, not sure how many more are coming. He's traded off as well. This is awesome. This is great for Heroic. Like we said, any extra kills are nice, so 2 there, and 1 more would be great, but it's not going to happen. Angel recovers with a double. 2 for HS as well. But now we get to that rifle round. Now we get the AK-47s out. Yugi could get an op if he wants it. Woxic is going to have one on the CT side. And it is going to be an up for Yugi as well, so we might see that duel happen.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where I think Woxic's been doing a great job, but this is where he has to like just establish dominance over Yugi in this, especially early on. I feel like in the second half here, this is going to be really, really important. They don't have the money to lose this round, HellRaisers. It was really costly for them to lose the last two there, or at least lose a couple of players in each of them. So gotta keep the pressure on right now. 11-7. It's well within reach. They can absolutely make this comeback happen. Just gotta keep the focus.
A lot of manpower for Heroic out towards Ivy. 3 players here. The op brings out. I think they want to beat this smoke. They're going to walk right. No, they didn't manage it.
They want it to.
Yeah, they really did. The boost up is going to be there, but the crazy thing with having 3 players out towards Ivy at the moment is they're all neutralized by 1 smoke. This means on the other side of the map, you can't really do anything whatsoever because you have so many players just sat behind this smoke, and Woxic is just waiting for the timing. He has it from his teammate, and he's going to do a follow-up.
It's going to be a little bit scary. Snappy almost getting the timing down right, but the Molotov will force them back, and can tell that it's a game of margins down here at Ivy. Nobody wants to make that first mistake, and if you just overpeak slightly, that could be the end of it. But buying a lot of time now. Down to 45 seconds close to here for Heroic. They haven't really gained much of an entry on the map. Still got a lot of utility left, which can't really be said for HellRaisers.
It's going to be, could be interesting to clear out. HS pushed. If Angel can distract at all, HS could be very impactful. Holding the angle, Nico making a footstep, nade out, that's not good, that's the wrong play to make. Molotov comes in, there's Yugi with the kill, and actually even Woxic got blinded just a little bit. He's going to get more aggressive with the op, but it's all down to timing. When does the lurk, when does Madi come out ladder room? Not quite yet. Woxic, he's looking the wrong way, gets a tag. He should be down, but that's a no-scope. Somehow still alive. Yugi ends him just at the right moment.
It's absolutely magical watching Woxic play right now. He's just out of control. Now they're going to get the bomb plant down, and Dead Fox did his best, but he just couldn't get both those kills. And they wouldn't even have been in the round if Woxic didn't hit some of those ridiculous shots. Like that's out of control. But unfortunately, it's just a massive hit for HellRaisers. It looks like they're going to buy into this round. It will have some consequences. Double scout there, and Deagle on Dead Fox, limited grenades. They are getting slightly desperate.
You have to feel desperate at this point. I mean, it is just flat out a desperate situation.
Where did the Deagle go from Dead Fox? Did he really buy out of a Deagle to buy a P250?
I guess so.
Because he didn't give it to anybody else either.
Okay.
Someone get the...
I've got my free cam. I'll go check CT.
Yeah, please do. We need someone to do some investigation here. Snappy has got the kill in the meantime on Woxic. 4 versus 5. Is there a Deagle, Moses?
Is that it?
Yes, it is.
There's a Deagle in CT spawn.
That's a waste of money, and it's also...
Listen, Anders, we've all wasted some money in our day.
Yeah? Think of anything in particular, Moses? Does anything come to mind?
Oh, there's always something.
All right.
Well, 2 scouts left on the board, Dead Fox and Angel. One's in connector, one's towards the outer train yard. Plenty of utility on the Heroic side of things. Where do they want to readjust to? Still have 3 players back towards T-spawn, right around the garbage pile.
Yeah, look to be setting up for all of the usual smokes. Maybe this one for Rubino a little bit different, going toward the E-box. Normally, you know, he was standing in a position to smoke off the actual bomb train. So it's going to be a whole array of smokes out there, but obviously we can tell from the minimap that this is all just a fake right now. Pushing instead down the ramp on the other side, and Bondik is there. He can actually stop all of this. He's going to get both the kills, dropping the bomb as well. This is huge plays coming from Bondik. That might just be the round. 14 seconds, getting a triple kill. Heroic sold that so well, but there was just that one little bump in the road, and it was Bondik.
The bump in the road was that to make that work, they had to go through a smoke on lower ramp, and that there's no reason to necessarily do that. One of the things you can do, and I mean, this is, you see it sometimes, if you're going to throw a fake like that, wait and see if the actual fake works, you know, because they get that initial kill outside, and if they had just gone down ladder instead of going through that smoke lower ramp, they win that round easy. So maybe just a little bit more patience and perhaps getting too fancy at a situation down the stretch here. 12-8 still for Heroic, and they can still invest into this one. 2 CZs, a P250. The AWP is on Yugi, AK-47, and Rubino. Still a pretty busted buy for Heroic, all things considered as well. I mean, for HellRaisers, excuse me.
Grenade to force one back. That's a great opening. Modi so close to HS. You could tell that he wasn't ready for it.
Using the timing of that nade, knowing that he's going to back out just a little bit and using that extra second to really get in there. Snappy, this is the bomb, though, and he spots it out. Very cautious shoulder peek to see what kind of information, and just that knowledge is going to force Angel and Bondic back.
Heroic going to be upset they didn't win that last round because they must have known that they had sold that very well, especially when they got the kill over by the bomb train on A. That's really selling it. You got all the smoke, 3 smokes in A, and the kill. That's a sold fake, and then Bondic is just there on the ramp. So Heroic are going to want to get a little bit back from that one. Grenades are raining in this time. If they can take care of Dead Fox, then the bomb side pretty much falls. And he's almost got the lineup. That could have been a great double. Now they're going to be there for the plant. Angel going to take down Rubino, and it's still a 4 versus 3. Bomb gets planted very early, and still a smoke and a Molotov on Modi. This is not good news for HellRaisers. They need to retake this. They only have a scout, not an AWP, and no more grenades almost left here. Bondic has 1 smoke, 1 chance to see if they can retake this and go for the defuse, and they're already wasting a bit of time. They're Snappy winning the fight with the C-set 75, and he gets the reload in to take down Woxic. This is a disaster. I feel like HellRaisers are losing all of the wrong rounds. Like every single time they are able to build something and even better short circuit the heroic economy, they just can't really do it.
It's been every round they've had them on that verge, right?
Yeah.
Just like you said, I mean, they just can't string them together. They can't find that and get over the hump and finally give themselves just an easy round. It also doesn't help when you just have, you know, Heroic jumping down ladder with CZs and just banging out your ladder defender and thinning out the defense. So that's tough to manage. Some really clever, like, individual small tricks and plays with that nade. I really liked that from Rubino coming down in ladder room with the HE grenade.
Modi, I think, but yeah.
Is that Modi? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, even worse, the debris from the explosion means you're confused just slightly when you sort of peek into it again, right? Oh, there's a nice shot from Dead Fox. I wish you could have followed it up, got a bit more out of it. You could see Woxic wanted to be the hero, and not going to work out this time. And everybody else seems to be pushing over on this side. HS holding pop, but there are 2 people going for a bit of a flank. This would have to be very, very good for it to work out. In fact, they might just get spotted here. Oh, Nico, you're so smart. I don't know.
Why did you do that?
I just don't know most of that. Just don't know anymore.
Well, the pause button's been hit by Heroic. They're waiting for the response, and they've gotten it, and the response is to smoke them off. They obviously don't have the bird's eye view of what's happening at the minimap the way that we do, so didn't realize the A bomb site was essentially free for so long. They should still have an advantage. I mean, as long as they play the trade game for the rest of this round, right? They should be fine to get in.
Yeah, it could be an interesting end to this round if it goes into sort of, if those C-sets can just be put into play a little bit more. Angel flashing his way through, and that's just right in his face, getting the AK-47. HS with the kill, and just like that, they've turned it around. What a heroic play coming out of Angel, ironically. Great triple.
That one hurts. All the plays being made from the CZs and Heroic. I mean, as well, both of these teams having a real big issue with rounds against CZs and being able to just finally destroy the opposing team's economy. So another one where Heroic's going to have partial buy. And I think Heroic, that just a couple times, if you consider this round where they had that long extended pause after the 2 opening kills towards Ivy, and then you go to the other round where they tried to throw that fake and ran into Bondic, they've kind of outsmarted themselves down the stretch, it feels. So not so smart, as you would say.
Yeah, they're so smart. They went full circle and just ruined the round for themselves. Now that was great from Angel. You gotta love that. Really quick thinking, picking up the AK-47 as well, and just ready for the next fight. He had it all mapped out. Now they have to be really quick, and that opening for Modi is big. Just 1 person left, and Bondic with it from us. What can you really do? Just 1 kill there. Yugi following it up with a great shot on HS, and that's going to leave Woxic and Dead Fox now. 2 versus 4. Bomb has been planted. I think it's time to give this one up.
Yeah, they have to. Because, I mean, remember, these back and forth rounds always hurts the CT side more.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can't string 2 together, there's no money. I mean, they had to buy into this, so they need the op and they need this AK-47 to do all the work in the next round because it's all they're essentially going to have. It should be about 3 pistols surrounding it, maybe a dropped UMP, but disaster striking over and over again for HellRaisers.
Yeah, it's been almost torturous to watch it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because they had, I mean, the first half was dreadful because they had it all going, but now in the second half, it sort of seems to be continuing, really.
It's a really cool, really simple call from Heroic there. You know, just after talking about them almost perhaps outsmarting themselves in a previous couple of rounds. This time, I mean, it's just a basic go in towards the inner bomb site. You're going to hit lower, but you have Madi up top to just take a duel. Just drive, find a fight. And even though he gets killed from the player behind Spindles, everyone's already busting down lower, ensuring that there can't be a multi-kill from that defender. And even Madi with a nice shot onto the initial player at the bomb train.
Yeah, and Modi, I mean, obviously would prefer not to get shot in the back by the FAMAS, but in a sense, it's perfectly fine because he knows his teammates are going to follow up on that. Whereas as long as he's covering the entrance from the connector, I mean, he's sort of doing his job. So, yeah, really interesting stuff there. Tactical timeout being called, I believe, by HellRaisers.
Okay.
Trying to make sure that they can maybe figure out a way to stay in this game, or at least in the map.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of scrounging together a buy, and then it's from here, it's kind of how exactly do you want to utilize this? Where are you going to make a play? Because you almost feel... I have to imagine the decision is, one, going to be where's Woxic taking this AWP, and do they want to get aggressive, or do they want to, you know, fall all the way back and just wait passively for the hit that's going to come in? Like, how do they have the information? How do you make up for the fact that you have 2 SMGs and a CZ? And the plan here looks like Woxic alone with the op towards the inner bomb site. Everyone else kind of playing together. Just hoard the weaker weapons all in one spot.
I quite like that. I especially like the fact that he's playing that close to the ramp. If he can get a kill here and sort of play it safe, or he's going to get shut down by Modi. That's, well, the opposite of what we wanted.
Yeah, not ideal. Angel's going to come back in, and he's kind of got to go for that AWP. He's only got a CZ, so he's just kind of throwing caution to the wind, running up. Dead Fox exchanging some fire with Yugi.
You can tell in this round that Heroic really are making sure that no one can sneak in. Like, they're covering all their bases. They're becoming slightly paranoid of HellRaisers tricking them. So
but it's also why it's so painful to lose Woxic towards the inner bomb site like that, because look how it kind of thins. You have HS watching Team A, and you have Bondik watching Ladder, and you have Dead Fox watching Ivy. And if any more kills come out, like that defense outside just collapses. So it's going to be a hit from Heroic. Here come all the smokes, the flashbangs over the top. They're going to start isolating some of these defenders. So HS, Bondik, and Dead Fox have to decide if they want to get aggressive around these smokes or if they're going to fall back and kind of respond to this. And at the moment, getting spammed through. There goes HS, and actually great damage onto Dead Fox. And I don't even think they realized they did it, but it is there. And coming through the smoke, Bondik just trying to figure out where the next player is going to come from and couldn't read it. And this is easy. No one's even taken damage on Heroic just yet.
yeah, that spam through the smoke was really, really effective. HS was trying to use that smoke as a wall. Man, Moses.
It's tough. It's a tough
wild,
life for you, isn't it?
It really is.
For those of you wondering what that loud noise was, Anders just pushed his chair off the stage in diva-induced rage.
Yeah, exactly. I was so angry. No, the good thing is I wasn't sitting in it, because otherwise, you know...
That would have been excellent.
I haven't been to the hospital in Ukraine yet, so there's an experience that we could maybe try and have.
I feel like you should kind of test it out for everyone. What is that? That's how you know that everything... Yeah, they can even...
Yeah, he's grinding on him, isn't he?
Yeah, when that when that kill comes out for Heroic, if you're HellRaisers, you're just like, yeah, we're just not meant to win this.
At least on map number 1, it's the best of 3, so I don't want to count them out at all. But I mean, we've sort of touched on it before, but they've had a number of times where they've pushed Heroic to the brink of ecoing, and they've sort of they could have turned it around, and then they've just lost some pretty ridiculous rounds. And like every time they get close, they just can't really follow it through. And that's going to take a lot of stamina out of your team, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, almost a chance there for Madi. They have had their chances, haven't they? I mean, you consider they were given a lifeline with that fake that coming through the smoke that Bondik gets 3 kills and wins. So they've had their fair shot. Well,
yeah, and if they follow up with the next round, then they force the eco on Heroic, and suddenly they're cruising, you know?
Yeah, tough.
It never really gets to that point.
Heroic with all the advantages in this round. Full utility. They have a man advantage. They have weapon advantage, and they can just sit here and wait. Bondik getting spammed down by Nico.
They're low on absolutely everything right now. Heroic at map point 15-9. Setting up for what looks like a drop play, and with not much coverage going on there, it's hard to imagine HS is going to be able to do this. Modi setting up for what looks like a very exotic flashbang. Going to be falling straight down. HS ready for it, though. They look like they delayed that drop a little bit, so unfortunate there. Dead Fox going to be looking the wrong way, and now it's down to Bondig and Woxic, and not much left really for them at this point. Good shot with the scout, at least will get 1 kill, but he just can't find any safe place to hide. And that's a 1 versus 3.
And you like that pathing. I mean, I know that they have all the advantages to begin with, but you like that pathing to take the bomb site by Rubino leading the way, and then you kind of have Yuki just watching the left side of the bomb train. No one else from Heroic was spotting that. They know where Bondik is now. He's fired it off. It is going to be map 1 going to Heroic.
Yeah.
16-9.
I like to say, if you're going to sacrifice someone going into the bomb site first, let it be the Norwegians. I think that's a good idea. Oh, what a shot coming through. That was just Rubino tragically walking into that. And he's down to 48 health here. I mean, of course, there's no way to get out of this round alive, and he's going to end up going down 16-9 in favor of Heroic. And HellRaisers with the early game, and I feel like a game that's going to be stressful for them.
Yeah, they had a really rough start to this. Not able to handle Yugi with the op was their first kind of obstacle. But outside of that, I don't think like you have to be. It's disappointing to watch HellRaisers kind of have those struggles, but I don't think it's too worrying for the series as a whole because, despite the struggles, they gave themselves chances to really have a good fight in that game. So going into map 2, more warmed up, more kind of zoned in, and you expect it to go a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, like I think if they win, like they had a couple of sequences where they won like 2 rounds, and if they win a third in any of those, then suddenly the score jumps from being like 9 rounds to being 12, 13 pretty easily. So I don't want to make too many excuses for them, but I think it was sort of deceptively one-sided scoreline maybe.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Nico also did a really good job. Don't overlook him. Yeah, really solid player there. That's going to be map number 1, and we will have the analyst desk ready. Strange as they are, hopefully they'll.
I think they're gonna knock it out of the park.
Yeah, they're going to do a good job. We certainly hope so. They're going to be coming up right after the break, so stay with us.
LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
It's the quick scope! This is unreal! Anything is possible. Anything is possible!
You still is a monster, Tom!